How's everybody? Pete here at Spawn Fly Fish, ready to have a little bit more fun with you on the vise. Today we're going to take one of my favorite searching patterns and we're going to give it a specific purpose, namely pink salmon. Hope you guys aren't tired of these pink flies yet. So, time to grab your vise, time to grab your tools, and let's have some fun. In the vise today, we are sticking with the Ahrex NS110. Great hook, can't get away from it. This is again the size 2. For the bead, going a little smaller today. This is the 3/16 inch gritty tungsten bead in Chartreuse. And for the weighted wire, and this is for a specific reason here, we've got 12 wraps, not 11, not 13, 12 wraps of 0.020 lead-free weighted wire. Let me get some thread going. A little 6/0 pink. Yes, 140 would be great, even up to 200, 210, whatever floats your boat or sinks your streamer. That's the one you're looking for. Just want to get some coverage on these wire wraps. So I'm going to do some angled wraps first and then come in with straight wraps, lock everything in place. I'm going to have no movement on the wire, which means no movement on the bead, which means happy fly that stays the same the whole time you fish it. Going to give myself that typical little indicator above where the barb is, or in this case where the barb was, because in order to facilitate this bead, you do need to pinch the barb. Back to these weighted wire wraps before they're completely covered. I do 12. I tie a lot of this pattern, so I know where I like this little space to be. This tells me my thoracic spacing. And so that's why the 12 wraps. So when I'm tying this fly on this specific hook, that's my go-to number in the go-to size. Again, 0.020 and 12 wraps. And let's get to the rest of this bad boy. I'm going to do a little flash here to start this tail. And this is a lateral scale, but it's the 1/69th of an inch cut in Opal. Amazing, amazing stuff. And just going to veil a little bit of this over my thread. Now I have already cut this in half, so I don't need to use as many fibers, but by all means, whatever you're into, just get it up there, and then once it's veiled and onto the shank, you can kind of let go, re-grip, and now you'll get a better little cascade effect over the back side of this hook. There we go. And as far as the length, I'm going to keep this one a little bit shorter than, I guess, what you would consider normal. Normal being 1 hook length. I don't think I need all of that. So let's go with the body length instead. It's just, still a little bit much, but we'll make it work here. And now these underside fibers, I'm going to come from the bottom and get those a little kick. And at this point, I don't have a lot of flat cut, even-ended fibers. It's just going wherever they want. Different lengths. That's perfect. All right, now to provide a little bit more tail coverage here, we do have a Schlappen feather in hot pink. And yes, I have conveniently trimmed out the top portion. So let me just tie that bad boy in and we'll wrap this thing, and this tail will make a lot more sense to you. Tying this so that the concave side is facing the shank and the convex, or what we consider the good side or pretty side, is facing away from the shank. And grab all these fibers, get them together going back over the hook point, or the hook bend in this case, and then continue that mentality and just keep wrapping. So with every wrap, we're grabbing all these fibers in our offhand and directing them back as we take each wrap. And so you'll get full coverage in the round, and all the fibers are going the right direction. Get my thread back here to catch this. And now this is, the end of it. I just want to clear out any of these fibers that I can and produce a V from the fibers to the quill. So you see that, and it's going to just provide a very clean spot to tie off this feather. So a few wraps and call that good. Go ahead and cut that thing out of there. Yahtzee. A little comb time. Yes, fingers work just as well, but let's be fancy. We've got the comb sitting here. Let's use it. Just sort of free everything up and then let it fall back into place. And there you have a beautiful flowy tail. That's what we're looking for. A little bling and a little pink, and that's deadly. Our next element that we're going to get into here is some ice chenille. And if you don't have this product or access to this product, don't freak out, because guess what? Estaz will work just as well. Any little chenille would be great as long as it's got some pink in it. Because if you know this about fishing for pink salmon, any color works as long as it's pink. So let's go ahead and just start wrapping this bad boy up. I'm not going to worry too much about getting these fibers moving toward the back. It's a very short fibered chenille. So it's just a matter of getting it on there and really utilizing the refractive and reflective qualities of this flash that they've incorporated into this chenille. So right here, I butt up to those weighted wire wraps. I don't need to infringe upon that space. I put it there for a reason. I'm going to stay true to it. So just get that tied off and cut it out like so. Nothing to it. So we're actually moving along pretty well on this fly, and that's part of the reason I like it. It's quick, very adaptable. And that's the main reason I needed something that just had a lot of movement, sort of made sense as a whole when it's finished, and yet caught fish. And this is it. So let's get a loop here. We're just going to make a little thread loop, and we will close this off 3 wraps around. Bring that little knot up and make sure it stays where it's supposed to be. Nothing to it. Now for this loop, I've got a combination of some spawn dub in Pesca hot pink, as well as some Chenille shaggy dub in hot pink. And so I get my little ladder of dub set out, my spawn dub, and right on top of that, I put a pretty healthy dose of hot pink shaggy dub. Let me just get that in the loop. We'll get it spun up here. Once we brush it out, you'll get to sort of get a better idea of what we have going. And you'll see that all these little bits of shaggy dub are going to be poking out and all that. And so you get this micro movement, if you will, of leg activity. And yes, I am a huge fan of shaggy dub. So the shredded latex is just going to wiggle all over the place. Whether you're physically or actively stripping, or that fly is on the drop or the pause, this stuff is still, any little current, any movement from momentum, any of that is going to cause this thing to still be moving. And so be diligent here, take your time, really brush this out and get those bits of shaggy dub to spike out of there. And so look at that. I mean, that's fishy. Just going to same mentality now. We're just filling up that space, wrapping forward, brushing back with every wrap until we eat up all that loop. Nothing to it. Look at that. If we knew what we were doing. Get a couple wraps of thread over this loop, and then bring it back over itself and really tie down securely. And now come on in and trim that loop out. At this point, coming back to our brush here, our dub brush, we really want to work this again, release any trapped fibers, and it gives us another chance to sort of, reanimate, if you will, those bits of shaggy dub, make sure they're not stuck on anything. And there you go. That's pretty hot already, but we got one finishing move here to bring this all together. And we are going to get into some hot pink pintail from Spawn. And this feather, let's see here, I've got a little spot trimmed out as a tie-in, and not going to peel any fibers off, just going to go with the whole deal. But let's get this tied in, and I know there's not a lot of room here, but that's kind of the point. Tied this many times. It took a while to get that spacing just right, and so you guys don't have to do the math, if you will. I've done it. You just, if you want to tie this, I'm telling you, I've given you the numbers. All right, both sides of these fibers going back. and looking for roughly 2 wraps of this bad boy. And there's one, and kind of fighting that quill a little bit, and that's okay. I'm not gonna cry about it. And like so, find out where that breaking point is as far as your V separation of fiber to quill, and then just go for it. I do have some little water here, so I may as well use that. I'm gonna undo this first wrap though. I don't like the way that sat. So if you find yourself with those fibers splaying forward a little bit, redo and get that out of there. Just don't like any bit of how that sat. And just retrim a new tie-in space there right up on top. Nothing crazy. And let's try that one more time, see if it'll play nicer for us this time. So again, clean little tie-in section. I got one fiber. There we go. Right behind our bead. Nothing to it. Cut that little butt section out there off the tip. Make sure that thing's going nowhere. And now let's try that again. See if it'll play a little bit nicer for us this wrap. There's one. Already going better. Wanting to splay just ever so slightly, and that's, again, it's not the end of the world. Get that up there. I can see where I need the fibers to stop coming off. Trying to get at it. A lot going on this head portion of this fly. And there we have a good spot. Just work that thread in there like so. And Yahtzee. I want to maintain those 2 fibers right there. And now I can pull everything back, get my thread in front, and trim out all that butt section. And once again, back into that little comb. Just going to release everybody and make sure there's even distribution of that pintail, which it'll do naturally. And then come in and really clean up that thread neck. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to do a whip finish here, a couple of them. So that's close enough. And then this will finish it off with those final last wraps. Let's get one more in there for good measure. And we are ready for some head cement. Yahtzee. Cut your thread out. Bingo. Head cement. For the head cement today, we do have some Loon hardhead clear. And let's get these thread wraps covered, shall we? Nothing crazy. We don't want a lot of excess, but we do want to make sure we do have full coverage. Want to get a little bit of cement on all that thread. Again, don't go to all this trouble to tie a beautiful fly that catches a bunch of fish, and then you forget to head cement that thing, and you lose it after one fish. That's no good. There we have it, folks. A fun little searching fly. Again, this one going right in the box. I've got a series of these going, but this one is definitely got a place in the box waiting for it. So another fun little searching fly. By all means, tie it in the colors that work for your waters. But as far as catching pink salmon, this would absolutely slay them. So, as always, have fun with you guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, by all means, please hit like. Please hit subscribe. We will see you all on the water.